Well, the 2008 Africa Initiative is an initiative that is geared towards more coverage of news from Africa. Basically, what we are doing is that we will go, that is, I mean africanews.org, and the Common Language Project will go to the Eastern African region and will visit approximately 6 countries, and we'll try to uncover stories from those countries. We have a theme. We are dealing with, or we want to do stories on water scarcity and how that impacts development in the region. But we are prepared to be surprised by, other stories that will come our way. Mm-hmm. The basic assumption here is that besides what we want to cover, Africa has so many uncovered stories, and that is what africanews.org is supposed to do more coverage on undercovered news from Africa. So basically what we shall be doing is going to the Eastern African region and covering stories that have not been well covered and some that have not been told at all. Mm-hmm. So that's the initiative. I will be going with africanews.org. The Common Language Project will have 3 people, and actually 4 people, including Julia, who is an intern with them. So Julia, Alex, Sarah, Jessica will be going with the Common Language Project, and I will be going with africanews.org. Approximately, we want to stay there for 4 months. 4 to 5 months. Mm-hmm. And if funds allow, we can even stay for 6 months. Our 2 ways of raising money is by seeking grants from organizations that would be interested in funding such an initiative. But we are also approaching individual donors, people who would share the dream that we have in this project. Are always welcome to put in some individual donations, and that is what we were trying to do with the dinner that we had on Sunday. It was supposed to raise money from individuals. Luckily, we have also gotten some money from the Pulitzer Center, and that was a grant of $20,000, mm-hmm. which will of course go a long way in covering our expenses, travel expenses, and also whatever you may need in the field. We had a very successful dinner. People came. We had very nice food. People have been talking about the nice food that we had. And unfortunately, we did not have as big a number as we expected. Mm-hmm. So we did not raise as much money as we had foreseen. But it was also a good publicity, because out of the dinner, people who attended the dinner received emails of people who want to help in other ways and individually. So it was also a very good publicity event for us. The Common Language Project shares our ideals. They share the dream that we have. They share the philosophy that we have in africanews.org. They go to places internationally and try to uncover stories that have not been told. So we are trying to do that in the African context. So they came here sometime early this year, and Bob Stewart, who was my supervisor for my project and also my advisor, introduced me to them and said, you guys can work together in a few things, I'm sure. And interestingly is that they were interested to go and do some coverage in Africa, and had actually been reading stuff from my website. So that is how we came together, and I learned that they had also been using my website. So we jointly decided to go and focus on Eastern African region. In the first 6 months of the year, I was able to track the hits that we had, and we had more than 90,000 hits for the first 6 months of the year, and it can be far much better than that because we have been straining to get enough content. We basically don't have enough money to pay people to produce content, so we rely on people who volunteer to write stuff for us. So I'm sure if we can get more money to put into paying writers, we will get so much in terms of traffic. The Common Language Project does not help me with money. They are also trying to seek funds, just like we do. The only thing is that they have a bigger profile than us by far, and that is how jointly, and of course with them at the lead, have been able to secure the Pulitzer grant. They also have established very strong networks and have very committed individual donors. In that way, they have been able to raise a lot of more funds than we can ever do as AfricanNews.org. We are approximating to spend approximately $50,000 for the initiative because it's very expensive to travel in Africa, to fly from one country to another. So that's what we're estimating it to take. Basically, I would like to say that I've really been helped by so many people. First and foremost, Scripps through Bob Stewart, and of course the Common Language Project, and other people, African friends and professors in college, like the African Studies Department. They have really given me support, and that has taken us all this way. What we would like to see is students who are interested in Africa, be they journalists in Scripps or African Studies student, to try and contribute to a website. This is a way for them to get out there, get their name out there, and basically, create a profile for themselves. So we have a place for them to write stories, to contribute. So I would invite them to write stories for us. The other thing is that we are still fundraising, and we are very far from getting the money we need. So if somebody would be interested in giving us some fund, funding us, giving us a small donation, that would be very much welcome. And I can be reached, at editor@africannews.org. People can always find me and, send us whatever they think they can give us. We are leaving the US on January 7, and we'll be flying to Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. So we have some time. So anybody who think he has something or she has something to give us, we will be here for a couple of weeks.